Yes, not melodious. Start, Miss Melanie.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Good evening, one and all. Welcome to Leaders Connect 360's episode LC104. Leaders Connect 360 is a CSR initiative by Bija Training, and it's organized by the Mask Leadership. My name is Melanie Shah, and I'm a licensed workshop leader. Leaders Connect 360 was started with the specific objective of inviting 1,000 plus leaders and create 1,000,000 leaders. It is a hybrid model of leadership community where every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15, we learn from top management leaders on Zoom Live. And once in 3 months, in each city, we will have an offline networking meet to network, support, and grow with leaders. That's why we say leaders create more leaders. Currently, all of you are muted. We will be giving you an opportunity to speak to our guest, Ms. RamPriya, who is an Associate Director of Global Talent Acquisition in Ramco Systems. But before that, let me also share that we are currently live on LinkedIn, and this episode LC104 is being recorded. For the visitors who are joining for the first time, you may also click on the WhatsApp, FB, and LinkedIn link, which is pasted in the chat box, to get updates on weekly basis and join us in creating more leaders. Also, we request that all our members and visitors to turn on their videos, as that will help us in making the episode highly interactive. So, are we all ready to interact with our guest, Ms. RamPriya, Associate Director, Global Talent Acquisition, Ramco Systems, on the topic of building empowerment in today's women? Please click yes on the chat box if you're ready. Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you, everyone. That's great. So before that, I would just like to introduce you to let me introduce you to Bhavini Pancholi, who is the moderator, and she will be interacting with our guest along with panel discussion leader, Miss Varsha Nishanth. Miss Bhavini, can we have a spotlight on her? Can we have the spotlight on Miss Bhavini Pancholi?
Yes, spotlight on Bobby.
Okay, so I think we all can see her on screen. Bhavini, over to you.
Thank you, Biloni. Thank you so much for sharing about the purpose of the community and about today we're celebrating the Women's Day. So very, very happy Women's Day to all the women in the house. May we get all the strength together and build more ourselves to become more empowered, on which we're going to be talking today. So at the outset, I would like to welcome each and every one of you, all the visitors, members, guests. My special welcome to our guest of honor, Ms. RamPriya, Associate Director, Global Talent Acquisition. And I also get the opportunity to welcome a panel discussion leader, Ms. Varsha Nishanth, an HR learning strategist and an EI coach. I would also like to welcome the author of our week, Ms. Rashmi Malapur. Welcome all of you for this month's Leader Special in Women's Day and panel discussion of the week. May I now request Mr. Arul to play the introduction video of our guest of honor and panel discussion leader, please. Arul? Thank you, Arul. Thank you for the wonderful video introduction of our panel discussion leader and our guest of honor. Welcome, Ms. RamPriya. I'm very glad and happy to have you amongst us today. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
Before we get into this, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, yes, you're audible to all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So thank you for that video, Arul. And members, as we listen to our panel discussion today on the specific topic, building empowerment in today's women, very, very important and interesting topic for today for all of us to learn, understand, and grow together. So I request all the members and visitors to have the videos on that will help us to make our session more interactive and lively. and lovely faces of all the women and the men in the house will be really appreciated. Thank you so much, all of you. May I now request Ms. Varsa to begin with the panel discussion if she's yes, and our guest of honor, if both of you ready, we could now have the spotlight on both of you, please. Can we do that, Arun? Thank you, RamPriya. Welcome, Varsha. May we start the introduction, panel discussion now. Thank you, Varsha.
Sure. Good evening, one and all. It's a pleasure to be here today. Am I audible? Just a quick.
Yes, you're audible. You're audible.
All right, thank you. Pleasure to be here today amongst each one of you on this special day. So happy Women's Day to each one. And this topic is something which has been on the discussion, I'm sure, across every industry. And today, let's show some light on this and see what perspectives, what differences can we take away from one of the leaders, Ms. RamPriya. It's a pleasure to have an alongside discussion with you, RamPriya. So welcome you again to this discussion.
Thank you, Varsha.
To start off, my first question to you would be around, what does women empowerment mean to you? For each one of us, this is very different and it is very close to our heart. So each one of us, we have a different story and a different perspective to share about. So what does it mean for you? Would love to hear from you.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me on this special occasion of International Women's Day. And I'm somebody who is a strong proponent of women empowerment. I always believe that women need to make their own decisions to be able to stand on their own feet. Not that they're not doing it now, but they definitely need to break that glass ceiling or whatever they call it, and soar high. So thanks for that. Before I share my thoughts around what women empowerment means to me, I would definitely want to share some insights around where it started, where women empowerment started off in India per se. So some studies reveal that it was somewhere in around 1917 to 1920. I'm saying even pre-independence India. So Indian National Congress was the earliest political parties to launch a women empowerment, I would say, a program. And Sarojini Naidu, I believe, was leading this, along with some powerful women leaders at that point of time. So given that, it is stemmed way 100 years back. And so that kind of country so India is very welcoming of women growing beyond the realms of their home. So that way, we are lucky to have been born in this country. So according to me, women empowerment is something that starts at home. If a woman is able to make some decisions at the home front, take active participation in decisions made at home, be it with children, be it with finances, be it with even the simplest thing. For example, what we eat for lunch, breakfast, or dinner. It starts at home. So women should feel empowered at their home front. After that comes your workplace or the places they go outside, interact with. So it all comes later on. And whatever they are calling the glass ceiling or the glass cliff that people are talking about, climbing the glass cliff or breaking the glass ceiling. Those are all something I feel it is within a woman. Probably we are conditioned in such a way right from our childhood, especially growing up in an Indian family. Our parents have conditioned us in such a way that as girls we are supposed to do only this, and this. And at the end of the day, you're going to get married and live in somebody else's place. So you better learn cooking, better know cleaning, and all those stuff. Rather, there are very few parents who bring up Rani Lakshmi Bai. So not many of them do it, unfortunately. I don't want to blame the parents, but it is how the Indian system or the culture that we have been brought up. So one thing that I strongly feel in today's women is, we should break those self-limiting beliefs. That is probably one of the hindrance to development or empowerment. So that's my take on this.
Well said, RamPriya. I think what I picked up from here is about the self-limiting beliefs. Each one of us, we are being, consciously or unconsciously, all this gets into our system, and that goes and gets registered in the subconscious mind, which kind of, when we grow, these come as a barriers and blockers. And when we deep dive into ourselves, only then we realize, and then we need to work. And that's where a lot of coaching and mentoring really helps for each one of us.
Every woman should be coached to herself first before becoming a coach to others.
Absolutely.
So, coach yourself. So that's very important.
Wow, beautifully said. Another interesting point that I picked up is how we're able to connect that it starts from home. Again, basics. It need not necessarily be very hardcore decisions, but it can be as simple as about the food, about how do you want to spend even a Sunday afternoon, right? And even if there we are allowed to voice and open up and share our opinions, I think that gives a lot of courage and strength for each one of us to share our opinions and thoughts.
And the other thing is, women should stop seeking validation for even the smallest of the things that they want to do. Unknowingly or knowingly, we are again, it is imbibed in us from childhood. So we are not. I'm not saying all the women, but majority of women seek validation for anything that you do, be it a career choice that you make, or be it admitting your child in one of those schools or some courses. You seek validation, and external validation is required. To make sure that you're making the right decision. And the other thing that women are scared of is they don't want to take any blames, and so it becomes a blame game later on. So yeah, so probably women should come out of that mindset.
Two powerful points for takeaway.
Families' support is a must in this. Families should also start looking at empowering women at home.
I think 3 takeaways in the first point of discussion itself, where stop seeking external validation, know your self-limiting beliefs or the labels that we are carrying. I think it's time for us to remove those labels and see how we can thrive and strive, because each one of us, there is a lot of potential being untapped, right? And then third is more about the family support.
Be your own coach.
Yeah, be your own coach. Beautifully said. This leads me to a question where you have said it started right from the ages of 1917, even before pre-independence. But in the recent years, what we are seeing is there's absolutely a paradigm shift in the women empowerment. However, there is still a lot of bias around it. And what's your view on that?
I completely I agree with you on that. Though we call ourselves a very progressive country or a progressive workplace that we're all working, but still I see that there are pockets of discrimination that's still happening, be it at the workplace or be it outside. I think it is more to do with the conditioning, I would say. The society is conditioned to see or view women in a particular fashion. So, for example, sports, cricket, as we all enjoy cricket, it has been a game for the men folk for a long time, as we all know, maybe for 100 years. But in the last few years, or maybe in the last couple of years, with Women's Premier League, successfully launched, so world has started taking note of women playing cricket. Otherwise, gone are those days, people wouldn't even want to watch women's cricket. And now I have my son at home who's a cricket buff who watches women cricket, and he tells me, "Mom, they play really well." So that is definitely a breakthrough that's happened in the case of women. But yes, there are some biases around women. Maybe even in organizations, for example, all of us are working somewhere in the corporates. Since I'm working for one of those corporates, from whatever experience that I've had in the last 20 odd years, what I've seen is women are boxed for certain professions. So, for example, a safety officer cannot be a woman. That's what the industry says. Women cannot work on the shop floor or a production environment. So women are chosen to do only certain jobs, maybe a desk job, a front office job, or a customer service job, but not things that are looked at as very challenging or very strenuous. So women are not being considered. Or I have myself experienced from my own hiring managers in the past that for certain positions they would tell me that I only want a male candidate. I have actually challenged the status quo and asked, why not a woman? And I did that in one of the organizations that I worked for, where I hired a safety manager, and she was put in one of those extremely remote areas in Madhya Pradesh. And in fact, the company went to the extent of there were not even basic amenities like toilets, and toilets were created for that lady. And things started looking up, and people in those areas, started looking up to her. So it is again, there is a certain amount of bias, though women empowerment is happening on one side. We still have sexual harassments happening, and posh cases being registered in companies, and we have those nirbhayas, still silently suffering, I would say.
Thank you for sharing your own experience. I think that speaks a lot for each one of us, especially on this day, to how to break your own status and then still ask, and why not, right? And sometimes we think, oh, I think I was in the wrong place. Going forward, I shouldn't apply to these kind of positions, and then we kind of limit ourselves. And I'm glad you were able to do that and empower somebody else in taking up those positions as a talent acquisition leader, and breaking those kind of barriers, giving opportunity for each one of us, looking at the talent and the potential. I think that is something we need to look up. Then
you will have to, the companies will have to give them the opportunity to at least once.
Correct.
And I'm somebody who believes in failing fast. Like Amazon says, one of the leadership principles at Amazon, which I'm really, I really like, is fail fast. Why not give that opportunity to a woman to fail fast and learn from her mistakes and probably turn out to be successful? You never know. There could be a different perspective to the same job.
True. I totally agree with you. And I also have some of those kind of experiences. Well, at this point in time, I think we can move forward in terms of, as we've been talking about the corporate structure. So let's deep dive a little more into this to understand, though today corporates are talking about diversity, equity, inclusion strategies, creating a great place to work. However, what I have seen in my experience and what I have seen in the research and hearing from other leaders is, especially at a senior leadership or the C-suite level, still there is a percentage of women leading are not up to the expected ratio in terms of the percentage. So what are some of those significant barriers you feel are present, which addressed can help to this advancement?
That's a very nice question, very interesting question. In fact, until today, I'm fighting it out. Even at Ramco, when positions open up at the C-suite level, my first choice would be to hire a woman leader. And statistics have proved that globally around 12% of women only occupy those C-suite positions, unfortunately. And we have still a long way to go in terms of reaching the summit. But what I have observed is it is not only the organization that is at fault. it is also the women folk, I would say that, opportunities are available. It is up to us to, make use of the opportunities, spot those opportunities, and, try and upskill ourselves or develop ourselves to be able to occupy those roles, at least in the near future, which I feel some of us or majority of us lose sight of. We do have a goal in mind. For example, I want to become a CHRO in the next few years, but what am I doing now to reach that place? So somewhere down the line, we get distracted, maybe because of family responsibilities, maybe because of health issues. Somewhere we lose that. It is only very few women are like Indra Nooyi or, one of those head honchos. But they are just, you can number them out. So that way, I think women should equip themselves with, the latest technology that is available in the market, digitally become more savvy, because that is something, some of the women that I have interviewed or interacted with, the moment you tell them that, you'll have to do something on Excel or you'll have to do some PowerPoint presentation and all that, they take few steps back. It's not that it's rocket science. It's very simple. But it is that, they have a mindset and probably a mind block that they will not be able to crack it or learn it. So unless we as women get into the habit of continuous learning, it's going to be a long journey or a bumpy road ahead of us.
Well, I think you made a interesting and to the point saying upskilling is something that is important and change is constant. And with that, if we want to pursue, and if you are very aspiring, I think continuous learning is the way forward, and how you develop your core inner self and bring that radiance and show up for yourself, it really matters a lot. And that's where the learning is a core element. With that, we can always be progressive. And that, I think it also needs to be a little proactive, and not only when you...
Exactly. Yeah.
And not only when you appear to that particular position or role, you kind of, okay, now let me pull up myself and do, but rather, can you also be a little more proactive in terms of learning? Then I think we'll reach faster.
Because one thing that I strongly believe in is, you have to up your ante always. And, be curious, always be curious to learn, be curious to, know what's happening around yourself in the environment. Also, basic knowledge of the economy, and something around current affairs. I don't know how many women have taken that initiative, because all of us have 24 hours. But some of the women do spend some time to keep themselves abreast of what is happening in the world. And that is also a very important aspect, because as you grow up the career ladder, you will get to interact with senior stakeholders, the corporate executives, where you should not be found wanting. You should be in a position to pick up any topic that is being discussed, or even maybe share your thoughts around, so that you show some amount of credibility. You build that credibility as a woman, and make sure that your voice is heard.
Well said, RamPriya. I think I would like to sum it up with saying, invest in yourself in all dimensions possible.
All dimensions possible.
Yeah.
And today's world, sky's the limit. You have Udemy, you have Coursera, you have LinkedIn, you have the opportunities are plenty. So you don't have to step out of the house to go for a class or enroll in a course or something. Everything is available at the click of a button. It's just that you learn to prioritize things, organize yourself better, because all of us have the same 24 hours. And all of us have our set of commitments, be it with the kids, be it with our husbands, be it with parents. We have our set of commitments. But it is, again, first thing, love yourself. Self-love is the best love.
Wow.
I think women tend to miss out on that. And on this special occasion of International Women's Day, I definitely would tell all women to first love themselves. That is very important, because somewhere down the line, delivering our responsibilities, be at home and at work, we completely lose sight of our own, selves. So it's very important, and that plays a very important role, because keeping your mental health, in a proper way, it really helps you both at work and at home.
Another nugget, I think, for us. I know this is a common topic being, addressed across the workplace, even across, if you see, post-pandemic, love yourself has been one of those taglines where people, people have been having a lot of discussions, a lot of courses, but yet I feel as a coach, also as a HR consultant, I feel there's a lot of scope. It is a journey. I wouldn't say it ends anywhere, but it is a progressive journey. That's what I strongly feel.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that.
Thank you. And as you've been now talking about loving yourself, it comes to the space of how one can create a space for themselves to develop and thrive. What steps one could take?
If you ask me personally, if I can talk about myself, I do a lot of networking. I don't miss out on any contacts. I keep connecting with people. Basically, I call myself a social butterfly, and I love to be with people. And the most important aspect is I keep connecting with people. Whether I was in Bahrain for about 15 years, used to work for Bahrain Airport Company. I used to keep in touch with people in India. And when I'm in India, now I'm in India for the last 4 years, I keep in touch with people in Bahrain, and make it a point to network, meet up with them, at least for a cup of coffee. So that's very important for women. I feel that that's something that every woman should do, because it is not just going to help you in your career, maybe also broaden your horizons, broaden your perspective, also understand the perspectives of the other person. So that is something that I would definitely advise women to do that. And also upskilling, as we discussed before. Please don't stop learning. Your learning curve has to be steep. If once your learning curve flattens out, and you're out of the race. So children are one of the right examples, I would say. I learn a lot of stuff from my son. I have a 22-year-old son who studies in the university, in Anna University in Chennai. So I learn a lot of stuff from him. So he is my reverse mentor right now. So,
as a parent, to learn from a children,
yes.
And I'm sure it is not only from children. I think from every human, I believe in that philosophy, and as a principle that from every human, irrespective of the age, irrespective of any of the cadre, there is a point of learning from everybody. That's what I strongly believe in. And I think that opens up a lot of, understanding for us to see how people perceive things. And it really helps us to connect us also better.
Absolutely. It need not be necessarily a classroom coaching or a session that we take up. It can be even from maids and drivers and the household help that we have. So you learn from them as well. That I've experienced it on my own. So
yeah. Well, I'll relate to it, because today at our community we had a small occasion to pay gratitude to them and make them feel, hey, you are caring us, you're supporting us, and it's time for us to show that gratitude. And they felt absolutely so happy about it, where we could make a difference to them. So I can totally relate to what you're saying, that it doesn't need to be
small things, but it matters.
It really matters. It really matters.
And believe it or not, they are our backbones.
Absolutely.
You don't have your maid one day, your life is out of track that day, so you're gone. You don't have your driver or a cleaner, then you're gone for a day. So that's very important. So that's a way of showing our gratitude to those community.
Well said. And I also love the point of saying how you're maintaining the social relationships. It is not only to the context, but it is beyond that. You really value people, right?
Absolutely.
And that shows when you're actually a part of a networking or being in touch with people. That shows the more sense of your being, that you really value them. And you can be of help to somebody, or just be there for them. You never know how we can make a difference to them.
In fact, yeah, I'm exactly. I think you're pulling words from my mouth. So the same thing. I was about to say that if we can make some positive difference to somebody's life, let's do it. It could be even a small act of support. It makes a lot of difference to them, and it pays off at the point of time.
True. Great pointers. I think a lot of for us, a lot of points and to take away today. One last question that I have for today's discussion would be, in your experience, again coming back to the organizational side, at an organizational level, what are some of those core initiatives, as you're at the talent acquisition leader position? What do you think are some of those core initiatives we can promote to make women empowerment?
One thing can be maybe organizations are doing it right today, but which was not there 20 years ago when I was working with my son. So we have organizations promote daycare centers within the premises of the company, and they give flexible work options to women to empower them, and also create some learning pathways for women. Come up with some special women-centric leadership programs that even my own middle management women, getting them ready to occupy leadership roles in the future, and also come up with some kind of entrepreneurial activities or projects that you can give them for them to make some decisions, empower them to make decisions. So
great. I think a lot of it, as you said, quite a lot of organizations are doing about it, and there is a scope, and I'm sure it'll be better in the coming days. And I also could see one of your posts where most of the time in the organizations, the HR group is always looked as support function, right? But I think you have made a difference in terms of giving a pat on the back, and that's something well appreciated. And I'm sure this would have made a lot of a positivity. It would have really gained them a lot of sense of oneness, belongingness. It really speaks a lot at your leadership level to bring this initiative.
Because we want HR function to be seen as enablers and not a supporting function anymore. So HR now deserves a place in the board. So we have started becoming more strategic, and we make decisions at the board level. So we contribute to the bottom line of the organization. So we definitely need that amount of recognition and call ourselves as enablers. And that's where we had this pat on the back awards at Ramco to recognize our enablers.
Very true. I totally agree that they are people enablers, and I'm glad you could bring this up. I'm sure people will take this up and follow this kind of a best practice in their respective organizations as well. So RamPriya, I think with this, I know the time was very short. I'm sure if we could have more time, we can discuss many more points and listen to your interesting experiences as well. But with the time limit given, let me take a pause here for now. And it was wonderful to have a discussion alongside with you. And I'm sure each of the viewers here who have joined us have some takeaway today where they feel really proud about themselves. And I'm sure there's something more to work also. So thank you for joining in.
Thank you.
And we look forward to hear more from you.
Sure. Nice.
Thank you.
Thanks. Nice interacting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Varsha. Thank you. What do I say now for this? It's no less than a magic, I believe, having so many women, having such lovely, empowering talks about women, and having such beautiful week for women. And we associate that with a lot of women who have had their own journey, own opportunity, own challenges. So, what I clearly understand from what Rampriya was trying to say, and the discussion that we had is like, there is clearly an understanding that no relationship can be complete, groomed, or grown without a woman in the house. So
Absolutely.
I can see that that's like a very strong build that we need to have, and to make a society a much better place to live, grow, and develop. So it's like amazing. Thank you, Rampriya, for that wonderful
Thank you.
thoughts and
And
sharing your experience.
before we conclude or wrap up this session, I would like to tell you that, proudly tell you that Ramco system has been selected as one of the best employers, best 100 employers in India for empowering women. And we are receiving the award on 24th in Bombay.
That's
Wow.
commendable in itself. Wow, that's amazing. That's
Beautiful.
commendable. I can see that you had a journey yourself, Rampriya, so I can understand that it's been nice. And one thing that you had highlighted about the decades that, far from back, we have been having a journey. I see the decades to be from the time of mythological eras when we used to have women look up like Sita, Draupadi, and others. They also have set such amazing role models and change and turns of society for today's time and challenges that we can post up for ourselves. So all the stereo patriarchal thoughts of pre-disclaimers for roles of people in society needs to be changed. Predefined roles that they have needs to be changed. So that's something which I guess a lot when we come. Another thing is like we really blessed some of us to be able to voice, to talk, to share and develop. So that's brilliant thoughts that you had shared with us, Rampriya. Thank you so much. And amazing questions, Varsha. You made it really very delightful to have the questions and have a discussion with Rampriya. Thank you, Varsha. Thank you for that.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. May I now request our quiz to be there today? We have a small quiz, Rampriya, on your insights and your thoughts that you shared with us today. And we could see that people have been attentive about listening that. And the ones who's going to be winning this will be getting a token of appreciation from our author of the week today, Ms. Rashmi. And she's been very supportive in order to share her book and her thoughts with us today. So I may now request Archana to give the quiz for the day today, please.
Hi, good evening, Bhavni. Good evening, everyone. Nice discussion. I really liked it on the aspect that there were various, points wherein it kind of made us think, collect a lot. So now going to the quiz, I'm going to be posting the question in the chat box, and this is going to be posted by Arul. Sorry, I'm facing some technical problems, so Arul will post the question. It is based on the discussion, based on the interaction which we had right now. And what I would really request all of you to is to keep the chat box open. The question is going to be posted onto the chat screen. Multiple choice ABCD. Please select the best one, and then we'll go ahead. So, Arul, are we ready? Just give a thumbs up. Yeah, on the count of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Please. Okay. So Mansi has taken a break of 3 years from a corporate job as she delivered a baby and had to take care of baby. She concentrated on nothing but her baby and the household activities during the break. I know it's a very lengthy question, but you take your time. So once she decided to step back into corporate, she found it difficult to get job. She was very upset and agitated as she was often rejected on account of her not being in regular touch with her skills. What are your views? A, B, C, and D. Okay, one person went very fast. So others, please take your time. No problem, because at the end of the day, it's about what we are learning and not about getting the right answer or the wrong one. Okay, good. Divya, Rani, Sahil, Priyanka, okay. All of them are going for the answer as D. And yes, you're right, everyone. I believe based on the discussion also, it was said that let us not stop where we are. We have to be constantly in touch with ourselves. We have to keep loving ourselves. We have to keep upskilling ourselves and learn from anything and everything around. We do not have to limit ourselves to a particular place. The online training has come up so much, so we can learn by sitting in a place itself. So point is, at the end of the day, we have to always keep ourselves engaged in a. So yes, the correct answer is D. Her learning curve would have probably taken a step back. Better late than never. She should concentrate on other rather than playing the blame game or ask for sympathy. She should pick up some learning regarding her job and come back on par with her competitors already. Only the half of it came, or I would have probably sent like this. Sorry about that, Arun, but many of them have got it right. And the first right answer was given by Divya. So over to you, Bhavni. Bhavni, you're not audible.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Arun. Yes. Thank you, Archana, for that descriptive question. I guess that's a story of a lot of women that we take a break for our so and so reasons. And that's the reason for us to keep upskilling ourselves. Lovely question, Archana. Thank you for that. And congratulations.
Actually, Bhavni, it's my story as well. So
That's everyone's story. I believe.
As I believe she is very connected to it very closely because she just delivered a baby and she is taking a break right now.
In fact,
She's
we have a program at Ramco we recently launched and have started seeing success out of that. It's called Return to Ramco, and it's for women who have taken a break, and we are getting them back to work. And we are putting program to be able to face the world. So.
Lovely, lovely initiative. Thank you. Lovely, amazing. That was very nice to know, and nice appreciative work that's happening for women. As long as we're together, I guess we can build a lot of things for ourselves. Great. Thank you, Archana, and congratulations, Divya. Connect with you in order to deliver your prize and your token of appreciation for the winning today. Let me now take the opportunity to welcome and introduce our author of the month, Miss Rashmi Malapur. She's a content strategist, founder of Research Eye, content curator, and a published author. Rashmi has pursued a course in modern and contemporary American poetry and Kelly Writers House associated with the University of Pennsylvania. Her book, Positive Sutra, Life Says Never Give Up, is a combination of prose and poetry depicting her experience of battling with chronic mental health issues. She works actively in the field of mental health awareness through her YouTube channel on emotional well-being. She has been awarded for screenplay writing Light of Cinema, founded by the famous music director and writer Shambhaiji Bhagat. Her love for writing is unfading. I can definitely see that, Rashmi. Your love for writing, love for observation, love for environment, and love for learning is never going to be taking a stop at all. It's lots that you are going to be giving us through your book. So I would a lot of plethora of knowledge that you're going to be sharing with your book. So may I request Ms. Rashmi to share some insights about her book and give a spread the knowledge and awareness about what her book exactly offers and gives to all of us.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome,
Huge
Rashmi.
round of applause for the two ladies and the entire team. Mask Leadership, Leadership Connect, Leaders Connect, Varsha and RamPriya. It was an awesome discussion. Apriyante, absolutely. Bhavni Pancholi, thanks a lot. Thank you, Arul and Prakash as well for inviting me. I would first urge everybody to just slightly close their eyes and have their palms on their knees and just focus on your breath. As you inhale, just keep a tap on when you're inhaling and when you start exhaling. You can now open your eyes. This is what is connect to your breath. You connect to yourself. And I feel that in our busy lives, we have become, we are rushing through emotions and we're rushing through our schedule. So I believe when you enter your office, don't rush to work. I feel you should just sit for 10 minutes. I know you have a lot of things to do, but where are you going to collect the uh, the energy, the mindfulness to do this? When you actually connect to yourself, first connect to your breath, that leads to connecting yourself. These and a few more tips are there in my book, which is called Positive Sutra, Life Says Never Give Up. There is a positive poem, but to that there's attached a negative poem. Why is a negative poem attached to a positive poem? There's a reason, because it's been my journey. I was terribly going through a very bad phase. I think so that phase was my learning phase. And that negative thought, I realized if I back with a positive thought, it helped me to live an emotionally happy life. And that's what we need to do. Yes, negative emotions are a part of our life. They are bound to come. But how long are you going to linger into that? You just need to connect that negative thought with a positive thought. So my book is all about this journey that I've been battling with a chronic mental issue. Yeah, by God's grace, with self-belief, with self-esteem, grown self-esteem, I've been able to come out of it. A lot of people have been a part of this journey. Thanks to them, my family, everybody, my friends. So this is a journey, and these are these poems and tips as well in my book. I would like to say that when can we call ourselves, like, we are become aware of emotional issues, or we're thinking of emotional well-being, when we believe that entering the office does not mean keeping your emotions outside, because emotions are a part of you. In fact, you leverage your emotions to reach your goals. When we realize that and we all accept that, as a company, as all the employees, as a team, they realize that we are all battling our own struggles. We have a bit of empathy towards each other. That is when I feel that, okay, we are thinking about emotional well-being. When I'm able to go up to my manager and say that, no, today I'm going through a lot of emotional trauma, I need a break. And he does not, or she does not judge you, or she's weak. Being emotional is not being weak. That's where I come from. And you can surely read my book. I'll send it across. And thank you so much for inviting me. And it was a lovely discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you. That was very insightful information that you're sharing with us. And the motive of today's program and for today's topic that we have, you really added a lot of value to it by sharing that thought and by sharing your book with us. Thank you so much, Rashmi. It was amazing to have you today. I believe your chronic health has now helped you to be moving better and getting more better in yourself. So yes, that's the way we're going to be spreading light, and let our each penny get counted so that we can make a difference in today's world now. Great.
Yes,
Thank you, Rashmi.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Rashmi. May I now request have an open forum for all of us today so that we can ask questions to our guest of honor, Ms. RamPriya. And we may do that in two ways. One is going to be by raising your hand, and you may ask your questions right away to her. Second is you may use the chat box to put in your questions, and I will take it up on your behalf and ask the questions to RamPriya. Yeah, right? Can we go for that? So the platform is open, forum is open for all of us. Anybody who would want to go and ask away the questions. Yes, please. I can see Divya. Yes, Divya. You've raised your hand. You would want to ask the question? Yes, Divya. Okay. All right. RamPriya, yes, they were able to hear me, Divya?
Yes. Hi. So sorry about my video because I'm not very presentable today. Happy Women's Day for all the women and leaders here today. It's great looking at you, and it's a wonderful discussion. It is great listening to you ladies and discussing how empowering and difficult situations which we face on everyday basis, and also how it is leading us to a very successful future, right?
Lovely.
So the question from my side is very probably I can call it a little silly, Miss RamPriya Sridharan. So we have started this dress code, right? When we started entering into the corporate section, we started something called as dress code. Earlier, there is no such thing called women should come in this dress and men should come in this dress. Believe me when I say this, when I started working, I was executed or probably sent home for wearing a sleeveless jacket, right? So I just wore a sleeveless kurti or something, and people have invited me very softly and then told me, this is not our culture, you cannot come in a sleeveless kurta. Now I do agree and acknowledge a fact that it has changed very much now. However, there are many things which is only I feel, this is my humble opinion, right? So there are a lot of restrictions only towards women. I feel the restrictions are very less towards men. Now, being an empowering women, also in a very specific role of talent acquisition, how do you think you are helping to make this as a change in corporate or any kind of industry we come into?
I completely agree with you on that, Divya, because it is far better than what it was yesteryears. I have seen India in 2006, 2007. After that, I left India, and the scene has completely changed when I came back in 2019. But I do agree there is a certain amount of judgment against women. The kind of dresses they wear, they are expected to be in a particular attire. What we are trying to do in my company or as an organization is that we are making things gender neutral as much as possible. So we don't have any dress code per se. We want people to come dressed appropriately. That is what we tell them. So appropriate is something that is decent, so that people don't there's no anything awful. So my advice or suggestion would be to dress appropriately, so that there's some sense of respect for the person.
Thank you very much, RamPriya, for that explanation. Now, when I was talking about dress code, I was also talking about the hairdresses. I've heard people commenting saying that she comes with a free hair. I don't know what kind of a corporate look that is. And she comes with a bun on. I don't know what kind of a corporate look that is. End of the day, it is all about skill, talent, and expertise you come from, right? It doesn't have anything to do with how, I wouldn't say completely eradicate. It doesn't have anything to do with how you present. However, like you told me, decency and appropriate is in the first top of the table, right? But still, I don't want as a woman to be very much obligated to present myself and put the pressure on me. I keep saying that, okay, I'm going to go and attend a meeting and I have to dress up like this. Nowadays, I have a daughter of 19 years old. And today, if she wants to drape a sari, she looks for an occasion. I'm saying it is your comfort. It doesn't need anything with the occasion. It's just a comfort. You want to wear a jean and go, yes, you can. You want to wear a skirt and go, yes, you can, unless and until it is appropriate for the occasion. That's it. So I think this needs to be imposed on the corporate. And I don't know, when I was working, my HR keeps saying, we have a certain system, we have certain process, all that really gets to me. And I think I follow this motto of ignorance is bliss and walk out.
No, but at least now in the tech industry, I can see that there's a sea of change. People have the freedom to dress in whatever way they want. Even at Ramco, people come in t-shirts and jeans, and they wear all dresses. We tell them that don't wear torn jeans or don't wear shorts to the office, as long as because otherwise we don't have any restrictions. Per se, tech industry, I think they have opened up big time, but it is still yet to reach the other industries like manufacturing, real estate, and all that. They are still a conservative lot.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your answer. Really good knowing that there is a change in the society happening among all of us. And I should also appreciate men for welcoming all this, not commenting and not judging and not thinking of, oh my God, look at that. On that basis, I should also, on this day especially, we should also appreciate who are great men and supportive men today. Thank you very much, Sridharan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Divya. Nice interacting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Divya, for that question. Thank you, Ramya, for that answer. We have another guest who would want to talk to you. That's Mr. Devi Ryan. Yes, sir. Welcome, and you can have your question.
Yeah, hi. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Yes.
Thank you. And happy Women's Day, first of all, to all the wonderful women here and to all the men who adore them. So, to start with, like RamPriya, actually, like coincidentally, we have, I am from Hitachi Energy. I head compliances for Hitachi Energy. Coincidentally, we have hired Ramco systems recently for the payroll processes. Maybe a couple of months ago. So good. Good. We had a chance to interact with you. And the question here is like, a while ago we have discussed, like, posh cases, the posh cases and all, like, it's getting increased in the number. But what I'm seeing is like, maybe the numbers, I can feel, I can take it the other way, like, the numbers of women are increasing in the establishment and their organizations and all this stuff, right? So naturally, I don't know, maybe we have to play a kind of a neutral role here to make it a safe place in the for women to work in the organization. So what I feel is like, maybe we are also increasing the gender equality. So we talk about equality, but also gender equality is in a very high rise now. And I can see a lot of opportunities, like, company like us are more or less like a project oriented industry. So we invite women for projects who work in projects. You told that in a safety officer is not suitable for women kind of thing. So we invite women for projects which is happening in remote locations and all this stuff. So we also doing a kind of test and drive. So in this time, I feel that, what is up to you apart from the POSH Act, the Sexual Harassment Act, because that is a rule where you have to take a stick and say that this is you should not do. Apart
That's
from
more
that,
from a compliance.
from a compliance point of view, I'm head of compliance, so I know more. So apart from compliance, what do you think we can do maybe to make the workplace more safer and to not to get involved in the POSH cases?
One thing is that some kind of awareness sessions are definitely required time and again. It may not be just part of the induction. You have a POSH session that you are required to complete, but organizations are also responsible for conducting maybe once in 6 months or once in a quarter. Have those kind of awareness sessions where you just subtly convey the message that you have both genders working together, and it is also the responsibility of the men in the organization to make the place more warmer or more safer by their behavior, and that is HR plays a very important role in this, because they are the cops, whether they like it or not. They are the cops. They have to do the policing. But these kind of awareness sessions, can definitely probably avoid such POSH cases in the organization. That I can see that from my own experience. And when we are inducting new joiners into the organization, it also becomes imperative for us to set the tone or the culture. Communicate the culture of the organization in such a way that there's no room for any inappropriate behavior. So communication is the key in this, I would say.
Yeah.
And
good.
each of us as the managers, each of us, it is one of the responsibilities to create that safe environment for women. As hiring managers or as reporting managers, it becomes very important to create that sense of safety. Because one of the questions that I get from my candidates is that how safe is your workplace?
That's true.
So as an HR professional, as a talent acquisition leader, it becomes my bounden responsibility to answer that question and also stand by that. So I should be role modeling that.
Yeah, very true. Like, maybe HR as a cop. So more than that, I think manager should own the safety, like, whoever is hiring the particular person, so they should own the safety of the
Because
women.
HR has got only certain amount of visibility, maybe up to until the time that these people are headed the department. But after that, what's happening on ground, we are not, we don't have any clue about that. Only when incidents happen, that's when HR is working.
Yeah, that's when it will be highlighted.
Yeah.
Yes. True. Thanks a lot, RamPriya.
Nice interacting with you. Thank you.
Nice interaction. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That also makes me sure that between the 4 beautiful women that we have, the only man who asked the question. Thank you so much for that opportunity that's been given to you.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
In fact, we have such lovely men, who have been our backbone or the pillar of support for us to, scale greater heights and go places.
Definitely. And we actually don't need to fall into the role of an HR to become cops. We women are cops by nature. It's in us.
Yes.
Be it a mother, be it a sister. We just are cops everywhere. So
True.
HR also defines our work a little more predominantly, clearly. Thank you, sir. It was a very nice question that you asked. Thank you, RamPriya, for that amazing share of thoughts that you had with us today. And we may now request Ms. Priyanka to sum up this if we don't have any other questions. Varsa, you would want to have, we can take one last question. Yes, Varsha, please go on. Sorry, Priyanka.
No worries. RamPriya, as you were talking about, it starts from self, and I'm sure you stand out for that. And you have been a role model for yourself. What I would like to understand is at the back end, what was all, yes, family was a support, no doubt about it, right? What were other areas where you focused and invested, which helped you to today, lead and, be an icon or a role model for yourself and also for others?
Definitely. Few things, definitely on this special occasion, I would like to thank my husband, who's been my biggest pillar of support. He has been always there for me when I had to make some difficult decisions. And moving back to India, he's still working in Bahrain and to support my son. And it was a big decision. And today what I am is, I would attribute it to him. The other thing would be, I always invest in myself. I make it a point that one of my KPIs I set for myself is, do a program or, invest in yourself, continue upskilling yourself, because that's very important. That I always feel that you'll be out of the race very soon, because we are not the Gen Zs, and age is not in our favor, because the tech industry is evolving every day, and if you're not going to keep pace with that, you are going to be out very soon. And the other thing, as I told you, networking, social networking is very, very important. Be it on LinkedIn, be it in person, that's very important. And get to meet like-minded people, attend some forums. So that's what I have been doing it, and my recipe for success.
Oh, thank you for sharing that recipe to us. And I'm sure it would be helpful for a lot of us, for us to either continue to see what it can bring. Maybe we would not have seen the results so far, but I'm sure if we continue to do ahead, it will bring results. And for some who haven't started, it's time for us to get started.
And consistency is the key.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Thank you for sharing.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Varsha. Thank you for the question. I can see that Gen X needs to have a roadmap to meet the Gen Zs. So we really have to work up and have our shoes. We really having kids and daughter children around in that age, then yes, definitely.
In fact, I'm leading a team of Gen Zs. All of them are like kids to me. Yeah, there's a set of challenges that I do face, but a lot of learning from them as well. That's, as I told you, reverse mentoring. A lot of reverse mentoring keeps happening now and then.
Absolutely, that's very important, and we clearly learn a lot from the Gen Zs. They really have a lot of agility and a lot of things that we really need to keep up to that thing.
Yes.
Great. Lovely, RamPriya. May I now request Priyanka to have a quick recapitulation of what we did in just 3 or 5 bullets would help us, because we're running really short of time.
Yes,
thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bhavani. And thank you, RamPriya ma'am, for such a wonderful session. So, first of all, I really want to wish Happy Women's Day to all. So as we all know, empowerment is a process that really help any individual to greater control out of their lives. And it also helps to achieve their goals. So there are very beautiful point which RamPriya ma'am said that first of all, education. Education is very important, upskilling. As we have listened a lot of time that ma'am focused mainly on upskilling. So upskilling should not be stopped first of all. And then second was networking. Networking, building a strong connections with the people, either with the professional as well as their personal lives. It should not be stopped whenever we enter into it. Networking, it can be online platforms like LinkedIn, which provide lot of opportunity for a women to connect with others in the different fields. And second was mentoring. They can take guidance with their mentors, supports and encouragement, which can help the women to which can help the women to build herself. And the fourth point was consistency. As ma'am told, consistency is very important for any women to achieve their goals. And then be curious to learn and focus on the current affairs and also basic knowledge of some economic terms. So it always helps, as ma'am already, ma'am is working as a director. And first of all, really congratulations, ma'am. And thank you so much for this episode. And really, we enjoyed a lot. And last but not the least, connections and networking should not be stopped. So thank you so much. And thank you all.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka. That was a very nice, quick summarization of what amazing thoughts and discussion we had today in panel discussion. And one thing that I would like to focus on is the topic today that we had is suiting our guest of honor's name so amazingly well. RamPriya with us that she has both Ram and Sita in her. That has led the understanding of empowerment, amazing and beautiful journey that she shared and experiences, her thoughts, and summarizes her beautiful journey of description of today's episode. Thank you so much. It is lovely, honor and pleasure to have you, RamPriya, with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, RamPriya. Just little more some time. I just have a word of thanks, and then we can have the session going smoothly. I may now request Janani to please deliver the word of thanks and also introduce the next week's leader.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, madam. I'm Janani to deliver the vote of thanks.
Yes,
we have had an extremely useful day. I myself have learned a lot from this session, especially the one about self-love, which you suggested every woman should have. Well said, ma'am. Before me sharing about the next week leader, let me quickly share again the purpose of the community. If you find our episode interesting, kindly invite your contacts who will add value to the community. For the visitors who are attending first time, Leaders Connect 360 is a hybrid model leadership community where every week on a Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m., we invite a top management leader from a reputed corporate company to share the solution for a real-time leadership challenges, either on leading self, leading others, or leading your business, like how you have seen Ms. RamPriya Sridharan, Associate Director, Global Talent Acquisition, Ramco System today. So now I'm happy to share about our next week's leader, guest Ms. Pallavi Rani, Chief Executive Officer, Women's India Trust, and topic, Physical and Mental Wellness. Join us on 15th March 2023, Wednesday 6:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. Zoom Live. Kindly join our social media platforms to receive weekly episode registration link and updates. Members who wish to be the panel discussion can give your names on WhatsApp group or kindly interact with Mr. Arul. I would like to thank the guest, Ms. RamPriya Sridharan, Associate Director, Global Talent Acquisition, Ramco System, for spending your valuable time in sharing your experience as well as solutions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy Women's Day to one and all of you. It was a pleasure. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you, RamPriya.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you.
Thank
We
you,
will
Rashmi.
now request
For all our visitors and members, kindly stay till the end of the episode as we give an opportunity to introduce yourself, which will help us to know you better. I once again thank our guest, Ms. RamPriya Sridharan, Associate Director, Global Talent Acquisition, Ramco System, for her support throughout the session. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janani, for that wonderful vote of thanks.
Thank you.
We will now have our thank you video, after which we will be taking up our new invitees for the day. RamPriya ma'am, would you want to continue style, or you want to go with your pre-commitments that you have? Is it
No,
okay?
not yeah, that's fine.
Yes,
That's
we have it. Okay, thank you. Yes, Arul, can we just have our thank you video, please? Thank you, Arul, for that video. We may request the audience members and the other visitors to please stay back so that we can have introduction of you people. If you're new joining, we could take in your introduction. Thank you, Rashmi, for the